What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new video where we will talk about the Champions League final, because Chelsea have won their second Champions League trophy and become the third successful English club in Europe in the process, and Manchester City lose their first ever Champions League final, first ever final in a European Cup. Let me know what do you think about the game. Did Pep Guardiola bottle it? Did he overthink it? I think he absolutely did, 100%. Yes, it's fine that Man City started without a striker, because they have played many games this season without a striker, but to start without an out-and-out defensive midfielder against Chelsea, who already beat Guardiola twice before even the Champions League final, who beat Man City twice under Thomas Tuchel, and now Thomas Tuchel against the top managers in England. He has 9 wins and 1 draw from 10 games. Absolutely incredible record. And also, what is absolutely mind-blowing to me is that in the past 60 games, there was only one game where neither Rodri nor Fernandinho started for Man City, and that was against Olympiacos in the Champions League. Guardiola said our way is to attack before that game, or reasoning why he started without an out-and-out holding midfielder. But to go in a Champions League final without a defensive midfielder has really cost Man City dearly, and he only rectified his mistake in the 60th minute. And in the first half, Chelsea could have been 3-0 up, and overall they could have scored 4 or 5 goals. I was absolutely shocked and baffled how bad Manchester City were in this Champions League final. They had 1 shot on target. If Guardiola's tactic was to go all out attack and to really overwhelm and dominate Chelsea, it failed absolutely spectacularly, miserably. To have 1 shot on target in a Champions League final from Man City when they were heavy favorites to win this is absolutely mind-blowing, considering that they won 3 Premier League titles in the past 4 years. And I'm sorry, Guardiola is a great manager, don't get me wrong, but he is an utter failure in Europe. One of the main goals for Guardiola was to win the Champions League with Man City, to bring them European glory, something they have never tasted, they have never experienced before, and to go without a striker and without a defensive midfielder in a Champions League final, and to wait 60 minutes until the game was almost gone to make changes to this tactic was absolutely crazy to me. And to go out to Lyon, to Tottenham, to a Liverpool side who was barely a top 4 team at that time in the Champions League is an utter failure. And to also to lose to Chelsea in this manner, they basically lost with a whimper. They didn't really lose fighting and putting their best performance. Chelsea played like out of 10, they played probably on a level of 7 or 8, and Man City played on a level of like 3 or 4. They were that bad. And Gundogan, who is Manchester City's top scorer this season, believe it or not, he was playing defensive midfielder. Phil Foden, who had his best games on the wing, played as a center midfielder in this game. And Raheem Sterling, who scored 1 goal for Man City since February, started on the wing. What was Guardiola smoking? Again, classic Guardiola, overthinking it in Europe. And I'm sorry, but Guardiola is an utter failure in Europe, because honestly, with the budget that Man City have, with the more than £1 billion that the City ownership group invested into Man City, to go out against Lyon, against Tottenham, against as I said, the Liverpool side who were barely a top 4 team at that time, and also to lose to Chelsea in the manner, is an utter failure in my opinion from Guardiola. And also Thomas Tuchel, I mean, Paris Saint-Germain sacked him, and they also basically pushed Thiago Silva out of the door, and he goes to Chelsea and wins the Champions League and the FA and gets top 4. He barely missed out on the FA Cup. They lost to Leicester. So to win the Champions League in just 6 months is absolutely remarkable, but also hats off to the Chelsea players. Huge credit goes out to him. And what a story that like 6 youth academy players from Chelsea were in the Chelsea squad that won the Champions League. Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James, youth academy graduates from Chelsea. What a story for them to win the Champions League with their boyhood club. And also Kai Havertz, after not having the best like 6 or 7 months, in the last 2 or 3 months he really came into his own and he started performing pretty well. And to score your first Champions League goal ever in a Champions League final is honestly a stuff of dreams. He has 0 Champions League goals for Leverkusen and he had 0 Champions League goals for Chelsea before this game, and then he wins a Champions League final. So his name will be forever remembered in the history books, and not just for Chelsea but in the football history books. Every Champions League final and every goal scored in the Champions League final is historic in my eyes, and huge credit goes to Chelsea. What a story. After like in January when Thomas Tuchel took over from Frank Lampard, Chelsea were in an absolute mess. They were in mid-table in the Premier League. They didn't look like finishing the top 4. They even more didn't look like getting anywhere near a Champions League final, never mind winning it. And Thomas Tuchel, the way he transformed Chelsea, and N'Golo Kante puts in an absolute man of the match, masterclass performance in defensive midfield. He played like one of the all-time best defensive midfield players for Chelsea and in that Champions League final. And N'Golo Kante, what a story. He comes from a small French club, goes to Leicester, wins the Premier League there, goes to Chelsea, wins the Premier League. Next year he wins the Europa League, and 2 years later he wins the Champions League. And before that, he also won the World Cup with France. And he's such a humble guy as well. I absolutely love N'Golo Kante, even though I'm not a Chelsea fan. You know, you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of Chelsea. But I wanted Chelsea to win in this Champions League final because I don't want Man City to get the Champions League, obviously. And it's better to have as few English clubs winning Champions League trophies as possible. I still love the fact that Arsenal, Man City and Tottenham never won a Champions League, and we can always put the fans to that truth when they are getting too cocky. I also feel a little bit sorry for Kevin De Bruyne, who had to go off injured after an unlucky collision with Rudiger, and he probably got concussion or something. He got his face pretty smashed and he had a bruised eye and so on. And to go off in a Champions League final when your team is losing in the 60th minute, and you are probably the player who can pull out a rabbit out of a hat and turn the Champions League final around, to go off injured through no fault of your own is really heartbreaking. So I feel very sorry for Kevin De Bruyne, but he is pretty much the only Man City player that I feel sorry for, because Bernardo Silva, you got exactly what you deserved after not applauding Liverpool in the Guard of Honor when Liverpool became Premier League champions with 7 games to go, and Man City stood the Guard of Honor, and almost everybody applauded and clapped a 99-point Liverpool, a historic Liverpool team, the best Liverpool team ever in league history. And not only did Bernardo Silva not applaud Liverpool, he also attacked Liverpool fans on Twitter afterwards. So it was pretty awesome to see him losing in the Champions League final. And Raheem Sterling, another player that I don't really like, he also is not performing at all. I cannot understand, honestly, what was the thinking behind Guardiola starting Raheem Sterling when he hasn't scored a goal since February. No, he scored 1 goal since February. And also Gundogan, who had the most goals for Man City this season, starting in defensive midfield. The Guardiola, when he was asked in the post-match press conference, I watched that so I can fully report on everything. I watched that for you guys. So Guardiola said that he basically wanted to unlock the Chelsea defense by playing Gundogan, a really brilliant passer, in defensive midfield. So he basically went gung-ho and he didn't think about Chelsea's attacking threat. He thought about how he could unlock the Chelsea defense, who has been absolutely stellar and really amazing since Thomas Tuchel took over. And so basically Guardiola gambled and it backfired. It blew up in his face, not starting a defensive midfielder. I mean, as I said, there was 59 out of the 60 games in the past for Man City. He always started either Rodri or Fernandinho, and this time he started neither, and he lost the Champions League final. And well-deserved loss, in my opinion. Man City didn't turn up. They played pretty pathetic. In the last like 20-25 minutes, they started playing better when Guardiola rectified the tactical mistakes, and also when Chelsea didn't really have to attack, so they were comfortable to just sit back and counter-attack, and Christian Pulisic almost scored a goal in the Champions League final. That would have been historic as well, but he is still, I think, the first player from the USA to win the Champions League in history as well. So congratulations to Chelsea, a well-deserved Champions League final win. And honestly, this Guardiola European hoodoo is absolutely crazy. I saw a tweet saying that when Yaya Toure got into a bus stop with Guardiola, his agent said that some African shamans cursed Man City and cursed Guardiola in the Champions League, so he never wins the Champions League again. And that curse is still ongoing. I don't believe in stuff like this, but it's still funny to me that some shamans in Africa cursed Guardiola in Europe, and he still can't win the Champions League with Messi. And considering that he inherited a Champions League winner squad at Bayern Munich, and he also inherited Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, and many other, David Silva, and many other world-class players at Man City, and he spent another 800 million pounds on this Man City squad, and to not win the Champions League in so many seasons when he was almost always favourite alongside Bayern Munich to win the Champions League in this time, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. I just cannot believe that Guardiola is not criticized more for this, because honestly, I think that he really overthinks the tactics, and what served Man City well all season, Man City strayed away from that. In the Champions League final, in the most important and biggest game of your whole season, you are not sticking to the principles that got you success, that got you there. Why not play Phil Foden on the wing? Why not play Rodri in defensive midfield? Why not play Gundogan and De Bruyne ahead of Rodri in attacking midfield? And yes, you can play Kevin De Bruyne as a false 9, but then put Foden and Mahrez on the wing. Why not play Cancelo at left back when he had an amazing season? Why put Zinchenko at left back, who looked out of his depth in this game, and he didn't perform, in my opinion. And huge credit goes out to Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel did absolute wonders, and they were deserved kings of Europe, deserved Champions League winners. And what a glorious week to lose a cup final, both for Man United and for Manchester City. Manchester are in tears. Absolutely lovely to see for me as a Liverpool fan. Man City and Man United losing cup finals in the same week is just absolutely crazy. And also Sergio Aguero, he said he is not leaving Man City until they win the Champions League. Well, he lied. He's leaving Man City because they still haven't won the Champions League, and he's going to Barcelona. It's now pretty much confirmed. And now I think Man City will always second guess themselves, because this cup final loss will haunt them. And it's an absolutely incredible statistic that I think since the 80s, no English team has won their first Champions League final. I think the only English team who has done that is Aston Villa. Every other English team has lost their first Champions League final or European Cup final. Even Liverpool has lost their first final before they won it. But yeah, will Man City be back in the Champions League final? If Guardiola don't overthink the tactics, probably, because they just have so much money, and Chelsea also spent so much money. So this wasn't a victory for football, it was a victory for Chelsea. Because both teams are what modern day football is basically based on, which is who spends the most money wins most of the trophies. Chelsea and Man City have spent the most money in the last 10 years in England, and they are in the Champions League final, and Chelsea won it. But on paper, Man City should have won it. They spent a lot more money and they have a much better team. much better squad on paper. So I was delighted for Chelsea to win the Champions League final. Let me know what they think about all the things that we talked about in this video, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.